Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Fire Force episode 12. So, yeah, last episode we had some really good information. We got to learn more about Captain Hinawa rather, and the company as a whole, how it started, all of that jazz. And we kind of got a look into where we are going with the rest of this little mini arc, which ends on with episode 14. And just as a reminder, after we record our the reaction to episode 14, we will be taking a break from Fire Force just to refresh ourselves, just to make sure that it doesn't kind of start to lose its luster for us. We will come back to Fire Force at a later date, but we're just going to take a break, get to something else in the meantime, and then come back to it. But yeah, also a note, you might remember I made the video about the schedule changing up next week. So just as a reminder, that happens starting tomorrow, as of when you're seeing this. I'm obviously recording this in advance, but as of when you're seeing this, changes to the schedule are starting tomorrow. So just letting you all know to be aware that the order of the schedule is going to be a little different. Still doing one reaction every day. That's not changing. It's just the order, the specific sorting of them. So yeah, definitely interested to see where this is going to go with all the information we've been learning, all of the big stuff that they've been building up. And hopefully it ends out on a pretty good note for this basically first half that we're going to leave it off on. So let's see where this arc leads us. And, oh, I almost forgot. I don't think I ever realized this before, but just the other day, I noticed that Fire Force is done by David Production, the same studio that does the JoJo anime and Cells at Work as well. And I don't think I ever noticed that before. Like, I mean, maybe I did and I just forgot about it, but it kind of blew my mind the other day. It's like, wait, seriously? It's the same company? And it's like it kind of explains the great animation, because that is one of the definite, like, big positives of this series. The animation is gorgeous. It is so well done. And David Production, we know, are good at that. But it's such a different series from JoJo. It's just like it kind of never really crossed my mind. That's why it surprised me so much. But again, maybe I did hear of that before and I just didn't remember. It's possible. I don't know. Either way, I'm excited to see where this goes, so let's just get into it. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So things got interesting here. So after the events of last episode, Company 8 agrees to help Company 7 clean up the town and repair the houses that Captain Shinmon destroyed. And after the fact, it seems like the companies are getting along very well. Until the White Clads come along, somehow perfectly disguise themselves as Obi and Hinawa, and make sure that Captain Shinmon hears them talking about turning people into infernals and, you know, shit like that. Shinmon goes off the deep end, starts attacking them, and has a bit of a fight with Company 8 until his lieutenant comes along and has to stop him. And we find out that the lieutenant's in such poor condition because he overexerted himself one night before they became a company in the Fire Force in the first place. And that there was this special infernal, this variant infernal that was demon-like that appeared then. And I swear it looks similar to how Sheena's mother or whatnot looked back in the flashbacks to his past and everything. I might be wrong about that. I would have to check again, but so this episode was pretty simple. Not a lot actually happened. It was just it was stretched out to where it just covered a lot in it with a small amount of actual specifics, you know. We got to see a lot more of Shinmon's powers here. We know he's the strongest member of the Fire Force, but we also get to see how Obi is extremely strong himself. Even without powers, he has just some really insane combat ability on top of the fact that he just does not let up. He doesn't flinch, he doesn't like back down. He will go full force against anyone he's fighting, and even without powers, he'll just go for it, and that's pretty awesome. But like I said in the reaction, you understand why Shinmon is so angry. You get it, and you even kind of agree with it. You understand his point of view. You know that Company 8 are not behind this, obviously. But at the same time, you can't blame Shinmon for being so angry. In fact, like I said, you kind of like the fact that he is. The fact that he's so upset just goes to show you what kind of person he is. It goes to show you how caring he is about these people, which we did see last episode. But this just definitely amplifies that. And we get to see a lot of his connection with his lieutenant in this episode, too. And yeah, I really like that. I like how we get to even learn more about just this world and how it works and how these powers can have a long-term effect on a person's body. Luckily, Obi and Hinawa have an alibi, and they have someone who could cover for them. They were at the store at the time, so if the shopkeep can cover for them, they're set. They're good. And that will prove to Shinmon that they are not guilty of what he believes them to be guilty of. Which means that it will prove that someone has the ability to disguise themselves as someone else. I don't know how this is done. I could not even begin to guess. I assume it's not done with powers, with their fire powers. But at this point, I don't know. We also get a very brief glimpse of Princess Hibana and Iris doing some renovations at the 8th. So that's fun. It's super brief and just like a comedic moment. And considering how heavy this got by the end, I think it was needed. That one dude was very clearly getting off on her stepping on him. Like, I know that's a joke on the internet. Like, it's especially been very prevalent with Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. The entire step on me thing and the entire, like, big, tall, strong women and people like joking like, oh, I would love if she stepped on me, stuff like that. It's like, it's a joke. It's a gag. People love to do it for fun. But here we get to see more of a like actual like example of that, of someone actually like getting off to being stepped on, and it's like, okay. And it's like, hey, not here to kink shame. If you're into that kind of shit, go for it. All the power to you. It's just it was such a ridiculous moment though. And I mean, I don't blame the dude necessarily because Princess Ivana's fucking hot, but it's still so ridiculous, and just the way it was presented was so fucking funny. The presentation, her face. When he spoke out against her, you saw her face briefly before she started stepping on him. It was the funniest fucking thing. It was like this just psychotic, crazy face, like almost like pretty much Higurashi levels, and it's just like it was just the funniest thing because you knew exactly what it meant, what you knew exactly what was about to happen, and it's just like, oh, it's funny as hell. I love that. Um, but it was cool getting to see like everyone doing their bits around town and stuff. Like you got to see like them doing different things that are befitting of them. Like Arthur using his welding abilities, like that's a good, like useful utilization of that. You got to see Maki just being strong, and it's like, yes, please. It's like no, that's more my cake here. It's like that's more my thing. It's like just I would like Maki to carry me. I, I mean, I mean, yes, I again, I get the idea of like the stepping on thing. I understand why people say that and joke about that and everything, but it's like just being carried by Maki would just be nicer for me, in those big strong arms and all. I'm not afraid to say I'm a simp for her. I'm really into muscular women. I've said that before and I will say it again. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm really into muscular women. So um yeah, that's a thing for me. Anyways, but we get to see like everyone doing their parts. Shinra using his the fire coming out of his feet to be able to get pieces up higher and stuff. It's like it's cool to see. Um, I really enjoy just the overall tonal shift that this episode went through. It was very lighthearted and fun and even wholesome at the beginning. Everyone's just kind of getting along, and even Shinmon is starting to see, like, yeah, I could actually kind of vibe with these guys. And then everything just goes to shit really quickly. It's like the instant you see the White Clads when they first show up, it's like, oh shit. It's literally one of those moments. It's just like your heart kind of just drops because you know that shit's about to go down and it's gonna get bad. And then you see what happens, and it's like you know instantly when you see and hear what Shinmon saw and heard, you know it's not them. Of course, you know it's not them. But at the same time, it's like you're kind of wondering then, like, how are they doing this? How are they faking this? I don't know. My first thought was like, okay, what if he's not? What if Shimon's not actually hearing them? Like, what if they're like speaking too quietly, and then someone else is like mimicking their voices, like right by them? But no, apparently it was just someone had disguised themselves as Obi and Hinawa, like physically disguised themselves. We even saw them later on, and it's like, how? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out eventually, but it's like it's just interesting that somehow could be done. Um, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, luckily as well, the lieutenant of the seventh did step in because whatever Shinmon was about to do looked really freaking frightening. Like he was about to go all out. Apparently, I guess that was his strongest move, and it's like, yeah, we the strongest fire soldier in the entire fire force is about to use his strongest move. I don't care how strong Obi is, he would probably be fucked there. I'm sure everyone there would be fucked. We didn't even get to see exactly what his move did. Like I used obviously the imagery as the thumbnail, and it's like some wild imagery, and it's just like I almost kind of want to know what it would do, what would actually come from it, but I almost don't at the same time because it might talk about it later in the series, and it's like or show it later in the series, and maybe even in this arc. So I don't want to jump the gun on that. So this has been a really interesting arc so far. We've got 2 episodes left, so I wonder where it's going to go. Obviously, Shinmon's going to learn that Obi was telling the truth, but what's going to happen next? It's just, are they going to fight the white clads? Are they going to be able to? Like, are the white clads going to do something even more drastic? What's going to happen? I'm very excited to find out. So we will get to that when we get to that next week. And as a reminder, I don't believe Fire Force is changing days. Let me just check to be sure here. Yeah, Fire Force is remaining on Sundays because I'm keeping the donation rewards in the new schedule on weekends. So Fire Force is not changing. So it'll be back next Sunday as planned. But in the meantime, tell me down in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Fire Force? And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See you all next time.